Welcome to the art of creative learning.
After creating your landscape, or if you already have a 360-degree photo that you want to use, the next step is to bring it into Storyline and add your variables, your hotspots, and all your triggers to make it function like a game. So in the download files, which you can find in the description below, there is a working file, Storyline file. So if you open that up, you'll see it already has just the timer box and the items found. These are just shapes that were built straight in Storyline, and you can customize them however you like it. But for our purposes, I just wanted those to be out of the way. So to insert the image, you're going to come up to Insert tab and then click on the 360-degree image. And then we don't want the original for this. We want the edited. So we're going to pull open the edited file. And automatically when it imports it, it's going to set it on top of these images that I already created. So we'll just pull it down to the bottom so that we want these to sit on top. And the way to think of this is basically the items on top of a 360 is kind of like your camera viewer. So these will stay stationary no matter what if you're moving around the 360 image. So once we've got the image opened, we're going to go inside of the image by clicking Edit 360. And the first thing I want to do is create my variables. So I'm going to create a variable for each item. And we're going to come over here to our Manage Project Variables box there. And we're just going to create true false variables for each one. So we'll do confidential papers, change this to true false, and the default value of false. We're going to add open computer, true false. And then we will add, the last one is a flash drive. Change that to true false, false. Okay. So once we have these three variables, we can go ahead and hit OK. The next thing we are going to do is actually create our hotspots around these variables. So while you're in the editing mode, you can move this around as you would like. And we're going to come over here to hotspot, and we're just going to trace around each item. So this computer is unlocked, and this is one of the, and we're just going to name it, you can name it open computer, unlocked computer. For this, we'll do open computer. You can also add text in the body. If you don't add text in the body, it won't show anything, like no box down here where this pre-filled enter body is in there. It'll just be blank and it'll only show open computer. You could add some remediation here, but for this purposes, we're just going to switch it to that. And then we're going to draw our next one, and we're going to add another hotspot here. We're going to trace around the flash drive. And sometimes when I create them, after I create them, they kind of pop, and I don't really know why, but just kind of move that back over there. Then we're going to come back to our confidential papers over here, and we're going to trace around that. And move that back there. All right, so now we've created our hotspots around that. When you click them, it will show the little pop-up that'll tell you what it is. It's also a good idea to add some placebo ones in, some fake ones, like, nope, this is safe, this is okay, because when you're in the actual 360 landscape when it's live. When you move around, it goes from cursor to a little finger click over anything that's clickable. So just to make it a level harder, you can add some fake clickable items as well. But the only 3 that need to be clicked on before they can move on would be these 3. So you would follow the steps that we're going to go over. We're going to turn off the progress indicator. That is just a little notification down here that tells them how many total items that are clickable, especially if you're going to add placebo items in. You would not want it to show that there are 6 items when there's really only 3 that they need to find. So we are going to unclick that. Usually in the instructions of the interaction, I'll let them know how many that they have to find. But once you've got these in, we're going to come up to the label, or actually it's to the interaction tab up here at the top, and where it says hotspot, I'm going to click that. And there are reveal hotspots, pulse if they're unvisited. We don't want that for this interaction. Normally, if you are trying to make them click on everything to find out information, but in this activity, we want them to search and find what's wrong with this image. So we don't want to tell them where they're at. We want them to be able to find them on their own. So we don't want those to pulse or let them know. So we unclick that. And once we have done that, we want to set up our triggers for the hotspots. And so we're going to come over here and we're going to adjust variable, and we're going to say the confidential papers when the user clicks the confidential papers. So when the user clicks the confidential papers, it's going to switch the confidential paper variable to true. So it's going to let them know that that's been visited. And we're going to add the same thing for the other 2 items. So flash drive is set to true when the user clicks the flash drive. And last one, adjust variable open computer to true when the user clicks the open computer. And this is all that we need to do inside of the 360-degree landscape image. So once we get this far, you'll be ready for the next part, which we can test this. You can hit save close, and we're going to go to preview. It's always a good idea to test. In preview mode, so we can move around here. You can see these items say stationary on top of the viewfinder. And when we click confidential papers, open computer, and the flash drive, all of them pop up as they are supposed to, and nothing flashed to let me know. So we're going to hit close preview, and that's all there is to this portion. I'll see you in the next video.
The art of creative in your e-learning lifeline.